Marketing in occupational therapy is a little like putting pineapple on pizza or getting a root canal. Most people hate it, but marketing is literally the fuel for your OT business. It's literally how you are going to make that impact on your clients' lives. So ignoring it is like sabotaging your OT business before you ever even get started. And there are a few mistakes that we made and that I see other OTs make when they go about marketing their services. So my name is Doug Vestal, and I help OTs just like you start and grow thriving private pay practices. And I make these videos based on what we learned owning our own OT private pay practice so that you can have the success you want, but faster. And if you want to have a successful OT private pay practice, then marketing is one of the most important activities for you to focus on. But marketing is one of those things that for the OTs, at least that I work with, that they are most afraid of. They feel that marketing is sleazy or manipulative, or that it has to be high pressure. And look, no one wants to do that. But the type of marketing we teach our OTs is based more on relationship building. And building relationships is something that occupational therapists are natural at and excel at. So let's jump right into the mistakes that we made and that we see other OTs make in their marketing. So mistake number one is, believe it or not having a marketing plan in place to begin with. I mean, it sounds really basic, but it is totally true of a lot of OTs that we talk to. A lot of OTs maybe do some marketing here or there, but not really with a specific plan and intention in place. So remember how I said most OTs don't like marketing? Well, what ends up happening is that this thought ends up residing in your subconscious. And so there can be this big resistance to actually putting a plan in place. Or, and I've seen this numerous times, is that a practice becomes so busy that marketing just drops off the list of priorities because, so much time is being spent by the individual therapist in the client sessions. But this is also problematic because without a plan, you are very susceptible to a slowdown when it happens. And believe me, it does actually happen. So regardless of the size of your practice, how busy it is today, or even if you're just starting out, you need to have a marketing plan in place that you're following. And the plan can be elaborate or simple, but the most important thing is actually creating the discipline to have one and follow through with it, right? Marketing is that thing that's going to bring in clients week after week, month after month, and year after year. And for me, the way I look at it is marketing is just all about building relationships. And this relationship building can take a couple of different forms. It could be building relationships with your referral network and deepening those relationships. It could also be building relationships directly with potential clients by hosting community workshops and establishing yourself as a local expert in your area. It could also be marketing you do online through social media, if that's something that you're pursuing. And your plan should consist of a schedule for when you are going to do, these activities. You should absolutely plan them out in advance so you know exactly what you're doing each week, each month. And this way you just simply, don't leave it to chance. You're very intentional about it. And the second biggest mistake I see is not following through enough. We are building a long-term business, so it takes long-term effort. If you decide to host a community workshop and only 2 people show up, what's your response, right? Well, it would be completely natural to be disappointed and wish more people showed up. And it would be totally natural to think to yourself, maybe this community workshop stuff just doesn't work. I mean, look, I totally get that. But we're often just a few steps away from big breakthroughs. And consistency is something that breeds legitimacy. You have to establish your expertise and credibility in the community, and that takes sustained, persistent effort. You have to show all of the incredible things that you are absolutely capable of, right? Think about it this way. Have you ever been in a relationship where you had success just giving 65% of yourself, where you just show up 65% of the time? No. Relationship building takes time and it takes your commitment. And the same is true with marketing your OT practice. For instance, think about your potential referral source. It's going to take more than one outreach to them to establish your relationship. It could take you reaching out 5 times or 10 times. It's a little bit like dating, right? They have to get to know you. They have to see, what you're all about. They have to see that you are serious, that you are committed. And that happens when you are in a consistent routine with your follow-up with them, right? If you find that you haven't been consistent, hey, that is okay. Don't beat yourself up about it, right? Just start doing it now. Put the plan in place. You can't change the past, but you can change how you operate going forward. No one is perfect, so it is okay to falter. Just catch yourself and then start working the plan, right? This self-awareness is crucial so that you can actually self-correct. The third biggest mistake that we see is not being clear on the person you are trying to attract and the language you use to communicate what you do, right? We have to put ourselves in the client's shoes. And here's the thing, unless your client comes from an OT family or has worked with an OT before, it is highly unlikely they know what an OT is. And for the most part, they don't care, right? And it's not because they're rude, mean, or uncaring, but it's just because being an OT is about you, not them. They care about their own transformation, how their life will get better, how they will get out of pain, how they will be less anxious, how they are going to do those things that they love again, right? They care about the destination, right? The endpoint, not the vehicle that took them there. And OT is the vehicle. And so what we see is that when we can focus more on their transformation in our marketing message, we get a much stronger response and engagement. So highlight the benefits of working with you, but not all of the nitty gritty insider knowledge, that your OT colleagues would be interested in. And then the final mistake that we see is that often there is no clear call to action in much of the marketing that OTs do. A call to action just simply means that you are asking the person to do something, to take some action. And the call to action can vary, but you should be asking the person to do something with the information they just received, right? It could be, of course, be to book with you, but it could also be a lot of other things, right? It could be to attend a workshop, to watch a video you made, to call you for that 15-minute consult, to stop by your booth at a community event, to try an exercise you gave them and for them to report their findings to you, right? There's a ton of options. You get the idea, but you have to motivate them to do something with the information you provided them that would be a natural next step for them. And the reason for this goes back to the relationship building, right? You are trying to build a relationship with them. And that means simply trying to promote more interaction, right? It's hard to build a relationship without interaction. So the calls to action are critical to building an actual relationship with you, right? And when you focus on the specific language that appeals to your client, that makes them stand up and take notice and say, hey, that's me. And when you include a strong call to action, then you will become an OT magnet, attracting those clients that you can serve. And if you're thinking about starting an OT private pay practice, but you can't decide, if you want to do it full-time or part-time, then check out this video right here.